Claire's lips quivered with unspoken words. A hush fell over the scene, stretching out like an eternity. Then, with a gentle hush, she urged, "Don't stop." Noah leaned in at the perfect moment. The initial kiss danced like a whisper, yet its intensity was overwhelming, leaving one gasping for air. Claire felt a soft sound escape her lips as his mouth met hers, not from shock, but as the floodgates of her restrained emotions burst open at last. With a gentle yet firm embrace, his arms wrapped around her waist, drawing her close. Claire surrendered to the warmth of his embrace, her form softening as she melted into him. She sensed the raw yearning emanating from Noah, and to her astonishment, she discovered her own mirroring it. As he drew back, Claire gasped for breath, her cheeks aglow with warmth. Noah gazed at her, his eyes brimming with desire, yet tender. And in that moment, a profound transformation stirred within her, altering her essence for all time. To grasp the journey that led Claire here, one must delve into the depths of her soul, exploring how a woman who had guarded her heart for so many years could finally find the courage to speak those two quivering words. Let us journey back to the very moment it all started. In a quaint little corner of Willow Street, there lies an apartment small yet full of character. On the 5th floor of a time-worn building, the afternoon sun would cast its golden rays through the curtains, painting long, luminous streaks across the weathered wooden floor. For the past 5 years, Claire Bennett had called that place home, ever since her husband Daniel had passed away unexpectedly one fateful October morning. Since that moment, Claire has come to perceive time not in the familiar increments of months or years. It is counted in the quiet hours of the night, a solitary cup of tea, stories left untold, a table set for two, but only one sits, and mornings like this, when the alarm clock breaks the silence of an empty room, heralding the dawn of a new day. Today marks the celebration of Claire's 45th journey around the sun. It has gone unspoken by all. No one has expressed a desire for it. She had no expectations at all. Another year has come and gone, a familiar rhythm she has embraced to the extent that it brings her a sense of security. Claire brews a steaming cup of black tea, settles herself by the half-open window, and observes the bustling crowd below, each person weaving their own tale as they hurry past. In another part of town, within the cozy confines of a small studio he rented after leaving his family's grand mansion, Noah Blake busies himself with preparations for his afternoon flower delivery. At first glance, the 28-year-old with his messy curly hair, faded t-shirt, and worn-out sneakers might blend into the crowd. But beneath that unassuming exterior lies the only son of Anthony Blake, a renowned real estate tycoon with a fortune in the billions. Yet Noah remains unfazed. 6 months ago, he declined his father's proposal to take on the role of CEO. Since that moment, he has severed ties with his credit cards, embarked on a new journey away from home, and embraced work that his family might deem beneath them. One of those enchanting endeavors is the delivery of flowers. Clear, straightforward, unrestrained. He appreciates how every bouquet holds a tale, a sentiment regardless of its recipient or the occasion. Today unfolded just like any other day. Noah received a late afternoon flower delivery, destined for 5B Willow Heights, a vibrant bouquet of sunflowers and white roses, accompanied by a heartfelt handwritten note. He cast a fleeting look at the note, which bore the name Carla Bennett. As he entered the building's ancient elevator, he whispered to himself, "Carla or Claire." The GPS announced his arrival. Noah pressed the doorbell for 5B, a bouquet cradled in his hand, as the first raindrops of the season danced upon his shoulder. Within the confines of the apartment, a sharp knock on the door jolted Claire from her thoughts. It had been ages since she could recall the sound of a knock echoing through her home. Her hand instinctively gripped the handle of her teacup, her heart racing with each passing moment. After a brief pause, she rose to her feet, smoothed her robe, and ventured into the hallway. The door creaked open, just a sliver revealing a young man on the threshold. His hair dripped with moisture, and his shirt clung to him like a second skin, while confusion and bewilderment danced across his features. Once upon a time, there was a character named Claire Bennett. Noah inquired, his gaze fixed intently on the delivery board. "Claire," she whispered gently. "Ah, my apologies. I'm here to bring a bouquet to Carla Bennett in 3B. It seems I may have taken a misstep and found myself on the wrong floor, but nonetheless, here I am. Wishing you a joyous celebration on your special day." Noah beamed, extending the bouquet towards her with a warm gesture. Claire gazed at the flowers, then turned her gaze back to him. A smile danced at the edges of her lips, the very first of the day. "Beautiful blooms, even if they aren't meant for my hands. It seems today is your day to receive them, doesn't it?" Noah shrugged his eyes, sparkling with playful mischief. In that instant, an unseen connection pulsed between two souls, two realms that had always appeared to remain apart. Claire lingered in the doorway, clutching a bouquet, her heart fluttering with uncertainty. She found herself unaccustomed to the unexpected arrival of unfamiliar faces, particularly a young man soaked to the skin from the rain, gazing at her with an expression that was part remorseful. Somewhat intrigued, Noah scratched his head, a sheepish grin spreading across his face. "To be truthful, I never imagined I would disturb anyone this afternoon. The rain falls steadily, and I find myself with a social engagement just 30 minutes down the road. But truly, I have no desire to continue resembling a drenched feline." He cast his gaze upon her, then shifted it to the blossoms that danced in the gentle breeze. A pause in the air, where time seems to hold its breath. "May I take a moment of your time and join you here? If it's not too much trouble, I assure you there will be no dramatic outburst from me. Only a brief quarter of an hour." With a graceful retreat, she widened the doorway, inviting what lay beyond. "Step right in. Would you care for a cup of coffee?" Noah beamed, his eyes sparkling with delight. "The coffee is delightful. I truly appreciate it." In the warm embrace of the kitchen, Noah settled into a chair at the dining table, cradling a steaming cup of coffee in his hands. By the flickering glow of the fireplace, Claire had carefully draped his coat, a gesture filled with warmth and anticipation. In this moment, there was a simplicity that tugged at the heartstrings, evoking a sense of nostalgia. In a quaint corner, a delicate porcelain tea set rests, accompanied by a vase filled with dried lavender, while an old radio softly serenades the room with gentle instrumental jazz. Once upon a time, there was a curious little flower. It was my fault, he confessed. My journey in this business has just begun, spanning a little over a month. It appeared that the navigation app was reliable, yet it seems to enjoy tricking those who are just starting out. "It's all right," Claire said, gently rotating her teacup in her hands. "Perhaps I owe you my gratitude. Today a wish for a happy birthday found its way to me, even if it was a little misplaced." Noah lifted his gaze, taken aback. "Today marks the celebration of your birth." Claire offered a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. In solitude, devoid of celebration, without the sweetness of cake, it's just me in this quiet moment. In that moment, a flush of embarrassment washed over her as she chastised herself for uttering those words. Yet upon gazing into Noah's earnest eyes, a soft sigh escaped her lips. It seemed like ages since she last found the words to express something genuine. As Noah settled into his thoughts, he propped his chin on his hand, his eyes reflecting a gentle warmth. "In that case, I find myself compelled to linger a while longer. On a day as special as this, sharing a cup of coffee is a must, unaware of the moment when the air between them shifted, becoming more inviting and at ease. Claire sensed her heartbeat shifting, evolving from a state of defense to one of eager anticipation. She gazed at Noah, the young man who appeared resolute yet innocent. His eyes seemed to absorb every word. Unlike the men who had come and gone in her life, and certainly not like the pampered rich boy archetype that the media frequently depicted. At that moment, Claire remained blissfully unaware of the true nature of Noah. "How long have you been on this journey?" Claire sought to banish the peculiar sensation blossoming within her heart. "About a month," Noah mused with a casual shrug. "I'm a poet, which is lovely to declare, yet I find myself without employment in that realm. Bringing blooms to others allows me to navigate through life and witness the beauty around me. A poet." Claire lifted her eyebrows, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. Noah let out a hearty laugh, suggesting there was much to share. "Indeed, I have a fondness for tales, particularly those shared by individuals who resemble you." "Just as I did?" Claire inquired, as if one had cherished profoundly, and then faced the heart-wrenching absence of something truly significant. Claire held her tongue, a quiet presence in the room. No one, not even her dearest companion Emma, had ever struck her so profoundly. A surge of nostalgia washed over me, but this time it brought not sorrow, but a sense of comfort and ease. "How keenly you observe," she murmured. "Perhaps it's a matter of youth, where the weight of loss remains an unfamiliar shadow." Noah wore a wistful smile. "There are moments when the youth grasp more than we give them credit for. Yet let us steer clear of somber topics this evening. It would be a true delight to join in the celebration of your birthday. We could indulge in a meal from somewhere, or I could unveil the art of my noodle-making prowess." Claire let out a laugh, a sound so pure and joyful it had been months since she had felt such a spark of happiness. If sharing a bowl of noodles with a 45-year-old woman in a dressing gown sounds appealing to you, then I'm all in for that too. Their eyes locked, and in that fleeting instant, Claire was enveloped by the sensation that she was no longer the sole woman in existence. In a hidden realm, a delicate spring had just begun to flow. On that fateful night, the rain poured down without cease. Beyond the window, every drop paused on the glass, fracturing beneath the soft glow of the dim yellow light. In the kitchen, the delightful aroma of fried noodles danced through the air. Noah danced around the kitchen, a pan spinning gracefully on the stove, while his left hand clutched his phone, weaving a tale of culinary creativity. With his gaze fixed on the recipe he had quickly found online, he was immersed in the moment. Claire leaned against the refrigerator, arms crossed her eyes, dancing between curiosity and amusement as she regarded him. "Do you truly possess the skills to create a meal?" she inquired. "Ah, the time I brought the wrong flowers," Noah said, causing Claire to burst into laughter. Even she was taken aback by the unexpected laughter. How long had it been since the sound of her laughter had filled the air like this? As they settled into their seats at the table, with steaming plates of noodles laid out before them, the ambiance shifted entirely. The initial awkwardness melted away, giving rise to a peculiar warmth reminiscent of two strangers who by chance crossed paths and suddenly recognized the void they had felt for ages. With a soft laugh, Claire, the poet without a job, rested her chin on her hand, gazing at Noah. "Share with me the moment you first began to weave words into poetry." Noah gave a slight shrug, a gesture that spoke volumes without uttering a single word. "From the time my mother graced this world, she found joy in crafting poems on all sorts of surfaces, cardboard tissues, and even the backs of grocery receipts. She expressed that when thoughts refuse to linger in your mind, it's essential to release them into the world. Claire leaned in, her gaze warm and inviting. At the tender age of 14, I faced the profound loss of my mother. Following that, I continued to weave my narrative. Perhaps it was my means of ensuring her spirit endured. He took a moment, then fixed his gaze on Claire. "And what of your tale? Have you ever penned a message to someone special?" The question resonated softly within Claire's heart. "Once upon a time, I penned heartfelt letters to my beloved Daniel. Once there was a drawer filled with handwritten letters, a treasure trove of words for the sentiments that remained unspoken. After that, she silenced her voice, letting it fade away. That drawer remained forever sealed, a mystery locked away in silence." Noah paused, not out of uncertainty, but from a deep understanding that some sorrows require no words, only the presence of a compassionate ear. "One day, I trust you will find your voice once more, not to honor those who have passed, but to inspire those who are still here." As their gazes intertwined, in that fleeting instant, Claire sensed a soft glow begin to thaw the frost-bitten corners of her heart. As the final bites were savored, the clock's hands crept toward the stroke of midnight. The rain outside continued to fall relentless and unyielding. Noah rose to retrieve his coat. Gratitude fills the air for this evening's gathering. To be truthful, I never imagined a birthday surprise quite like this one. Claire let out a joyous laugh. Who would have imagined a wayward flower delivery boy whipping up noodles just for me? Noah paused at the threshold, his gaze soft and inviting. "If it pleases you, may I return once more? Flowers shall not be delivered. It's simply that I believe a poet could truly benefit from an audience like you." Claire gazed at him, the young man drenched, yet resolute, his authenticity shining through every glance. A part of her whispered a quiet refusal. Another part of her sensed that it had been ages since she had truly lived. With a gentle curve of her lips, she smiled. The door remains ajar, inviting all who wish to enter. Noah gave a thoughtful nod. "Then I shall return once more." As the door clicked shut, Claire lingered in that moment, lost in thought. With a tender grip, she held the birthday card she had penned. Yet on this occasion, her heart brimmed with a newfound warmth. Just a few days later, on a Tuesday afternoon, as Claire completed the delicate task of brewing tea, a gentle knock echoed at the door. Twice, with a touch of reluctance, then once more. As she swung the door wide, there stood Noah, cloaked in a gray hoodie, a book cradled in his hands. I promised I would return once more. With a warm smile, he approached a small gift in hand. Once upon a time, there lay an ancient book, its spine frayed with the passage of time, the cover adorned with the title, Selected Poems of Rilke. Claire brushed her fingers against it, sensing the textured whispers of history. "May I kindly request a cup of tea from you?" Noah inquired, tilting his head with curiosity. With a graceful retreat, Claire created space for him to enter. Thus, a fresh chapter unfolded. Since that rainy evening, Noah had entered Claire's life, like a refreshing breeze sweeping through a stuffy apartment that had been sealed away for far too long. Not with a clamor, nor with relentless frequency, but rather as a gentle whisper of an afternoon visit, while carrying blooms in hand on a serene Sunday morning, accompanied by the warm scent of croissants from the local bakery just down the way, or at times to simply share a moment of tranquility, sipping tea while immersing ourselves in the beauty of poetry together. Claire found herself pondering the moment those knocks transformed into a daily anticipation, a rhythm in her life that she had come to cherish. "You really are quite the disorganized one," Claire teased, as Noah arrived unexpectedly once more, this time bearing 2 steaming cups of hot cocoa. Poetry doesn't adhere to a timetable. Noah set a playful glint in his eyes, and neither do I. As they settled by the window, the autumn sky glowed with a bright golden hue, while the wind whispered secrets through the rustling leaves of the trees. With the Rilke book resting open on Claire's lap, Noah's resonant voice brought each word to life, weaving a tapestry of emotion and imagery. Embrace all that life brings, both the exquisite and the frightening. Continue onward, for no emotion is everlasting. With her eyes gently shut, Claire embraced the weight of each word, allowing them to settle deep within her. How long had it been since she had genuinely experienced this feeling? Those meetings had transformed into something far more intentional. Noah found himself unwittingly arranging for a flower delivery to be sent across Willow Street. Claire, however, kept this to herself, quietly preparing an extra cup of tea each afternoon and arranging a second chair at the table. Emma, Claire's steadfast companion through the years, certainly took note of that. A young man visiting your home with such frequency. Emma lifted her eyebrows, her tone a playful mix of challenge and caution. As a mere companion in the realm of poetry, Claire attempted to respond with a touch of levity, yet Emma's gaze remained unwaveringly fixed upon her. Embrace your freedom, Claire. Do not confine yourself within that shell. Claire understood her friend's wisdom, yet caught in the grip of fear and desire, she hesitated to move forward. As the sun dipped low in the sky, a gentle drizzle began to fall, just as Noah made his entrance. Claire opened the door to discover him standing there, drenched to the bone, clutching a bouquet of delicate, pale pink tulips. Allow me to take refuge from the downpour. Those are meant for the patrons further down the road. Yet I believed you would appreciate a glimpse of them first. With a joyful laugh, Claire drew him closer. The rain falls once more, and here you are again. Perhaps it's time to hang a storm shelter sign on the door. With a gentle touch, she handed him a towel to dry his head, then gracefully made her way into the kitchen to prepare some tea. As she pivoted, the scene that unfolded before her caused a subtle tightening in her chest. Noah lounged on the sofa, the hoodie cast aside, revealing a thin t-shirt that clung to his form. Beads of water clung to his neck, sparkling in the gentle glow of the warm light. In that moment, Claire became vividly conscious of his physical presence, a detail she had intentionally overlooked in their past meetings. As she set her cup of tea upon the table, a subtle tremor danced through her hands. Noah lifted his chin, locking eyes with him. "How are you holding up?" he inquired gently. With a sudden jolt, Claire spun around, her heart racing as she sought refuge from the unexpected surprise. "Well, you see, it's been quite some time since I've had the pleasure of someone sharing this moment with me." Noah remained silent, his gaze fixed on her for what felt like an eternity. "I don't want to put you in an uncomfortable position," he said, his words measured and deliberate. "If my presence is unwelcome, please let me know." Claire lifted her gaze, locking eyes with him. A fleeting pause lingered in the air, yet the words that escaped her lips were anything but a denial. "Please continue on your path." The words echoed through the damp atmosphere muffled by the relentless rain, and Claire realized in that instant that life had taken a turn into complexity. In the days that followed that rainy day, Claire discovered herself transforming in ways that eluded her understanding. As dawn broke and the kettle began to sing, she cast her gaze toward the empty chair at the kitchen table, pondering whether today would be the day Noah graced her with his presence. As the afternoon sun dipped lower, a gentle knock echoed through the stillness of her home. Later, in the solitude of her bedroom, the haunting warmth of Noah's deep gaze lingered, weaving itself into the fabric of her thoughts. Please continue." Those words hung in the air, unyielding, and perhaps in her heart, she wished to keep them there. On yet another afternoon, as the maple leaves outside shimmered in a brilliant yellow, Noah made his entrance once more, this time with a small box in hand. "I have a present for you," he said, as Claire opened the door. Within the room stood an exquisite antique reading lamp, its brass base gleaming softly, crowned by a delicate beige shade that whispered tales of yesteryears. "It caught my eye when I saw you immersed in a book, even in the dim light of the room the other day. Your eyes are weary from the strain." As Claire's fingers brushed against the lamp, a seemingly modest gift, a wave of warmth enveloped her heart, stirring emotions deep within. How long had it been since anyone had taken notice of her little quirks like this? With a gentle shrug, Noah's eyes radiated warmth, reflecting his unwavering care. It is only in moments of genuine concern. Claire felt a flutter in her chest. On that day, the lamp found its place in her study, a quaint nook adorned with a wooden bookcase, a well-worn fabric-covered armchair, and a modest coffee table. Noah knelt beside the lamp, carefully twisting the screw into place. Claire settled next to him, cradling the shade in her hands. Their hands brushed against each other, a mere whisper of contact, yet it ignited a delicate spark that danced across Claire's skin. She withdrew her hand, yet Noah remained unyielding. He lifted his gaze, meeting hers with a profound intensity. No longer akin to the delivery boys of blossoms, they resembled those of a man. "Apologies," Claire stumbled. "I'm not accustomed to having others so near." Noah straightened his posture, his eyes soft, yet unable to mask the longing that had just surfaced. "I'm not rushing Claire yet. I can't deny that I have feelings stirring within me." Claire found herself utterly astonished. She yearned to dismiss it, to claim that what existed between them was merely camaraderie. Yet the words lingered in her throat, for she had lost faith in their truth. As the moonlight spilled into the room, Claire found herself seated by the window, the echoes of Noah's departure lingering in the air. The cold autumn wind whispered softly through the curtains, yet within her heart a deeper chill took hold. Fear. A sense of trepidation washed over her, as if she were crossing a threshold into the unknown. What claim did a 45-year-old widow have to anticipate the interest of a young man like Noah? And if she ventured deeper, could she withstand the weight of yet another heartache? Yet within her heart a fresh flame ignited. A blaze ignited not by logic, but by the primal urge within. A deep desire to connect with another soul, to feel the warmth of a touch after so many years spent in solitude. And Claire sensed she was teetering on the edge of an unchangeable fate. Claire found herself restless, tossing and turning through the nights that followed that fateful handshake. Throughout the day, she immersed herself in the pages of old books and meticulously arranged her home. Yet as darkness enveloped the world each night, her thoughts drifted to Noah's gaze, transformed from that of a youthful boy to a man with a clear vision of his desires. And even more troubling, she was aware of her desires as well. On a blustery Saturday afternoon, just as Claire was preparing to brew some tea, a sudden knock echoed through the house. 2, then 1. The unmistakable knock that resonated within her very soul. Noah stood there this time, empty-handed of flowers and books, clutching only a small paper bag. "Greetings. I have brought along some delightful baked treats. I imagined these would pique your interest." Claire swung the door wide, paused for a heartbeat, then stepped aside to let him in. In the cozy living room, they gathered the gentle glow of the lights, casting a warm ambiance, while the rain drizzled softly against the window, painting the sky in shades of gray. Noah shared with Claire the tale of a poetry reading he had recently experienced. Claire listened with a smile that seemed to shine brighter than ever, her heart unwinding in a gentle rhythm. Yet she sensed it as well. The delicate thread of pure camaraderie that once bound them had vanished. As Noah concluded his tale, an unusual hush enveloped the room. With a graceful rise, Claire made her way to the kettle, seeking the warmth of another cup of tea. As she spun around, a fierce gust of wind burst through the window, causing the white curtains to dance and sway gracefully. Noah rose to draw the curtains aside. With a gentle nudge, Claire moved closer to assist the pair as they found themselves intertwined in the cozy confines of the small space. With a gentle shift, Claire discovered Noah standing just inches from her, their proximity charged with unspoken words. They exchanged glances, their breaths coming in quick, heavy bursts. Claire felt the rhythmic thump of her heart echoing in her chest. She knew she should retreat. Logic whispered to her, yet her legs remained rooted in place. Noah breathed his voice, barely a whisper, thick with emotion. "If you wish for me to cease, speak your desire at this moment." Claire's lips quivered ever so slightly. A pause lingered, extending into what felt like an endless expanse of time. In a deliberate manner, she gently shook her head, each movement imbued with meaning. "Keep going." As anticipation hung in the air, Noah bent down. The initial kiss danced softly like a whisper, yet it burned with an intensity that felt overwhelming. Claire felt a soft moan escape her lips, as his kissed hers not from shock, but as the culmination of all the tension that had built up over time finally breaking free. His arms coiled around her waist, embracing her with a firm grip. Claire's form seemed to dissolve into the warmth of his embrace. She sensed the raw longing emanating from Noah, and to her astonishment, she felt it stirring within herself as well. As he drew back from her lips, Claire found herself breathless. Her cheeks bloomed with a rosy hue. Noah gazed at her, his eyes brimming with desire, yet tender in their warmth. With a gentle touch, Claire pressed her fingers to his lips, a subtle shake of her head conveying her uncertainty. "From the very beginning, I had unwavering confidence. Fear gripped me. Fear no longer holds sway over me." They shared another kiss, this one deeper, filled with a heightened intensity. As Noah raised Claire into the air, she surrendered to the moment, offering no resistance. Instead, she embraced him fiercely, as though the very fabric of their world would unravel if she dared to release her grip. In the bedroom, bathed in a soft yellow glow, their bodies gravitated towards one another, driven by a longing that had simmered for what felt like an eternity. Claire trembled as the layers of clothing were peeled away, not from the chill in the air, but from the exhilarating sensation of truly being alive once more. Every inch of her skin stirred to life after years of slumber. Noah leaned closer, his voice a soft murmur. "You're beautiful, more beautiful than anyone I've ever encountered." Claire chuckled, her eyes glistening with unexpected tears. "Please refrain from calling me Miss any longer." Noah murmured softly. That night they embraced, not in a rush, not in a frenzy, but as two spirits yearned for each other's deepest connection. Claire had never experienced it with such intensity. Each caress, each gentle kiss, held a love so genuine, untainted by any thought of gain. And when it came to an end, in Noah's embrace, Claire wept tears of relief, freed from sadness and regret. Noah pressed his lips gently to her hair, murmuring, "You're not alone anymore." On that serene autumn night, Claire felt the undeniable weight of his honesty. After a long stretch of wandering, she finally found herself anchored in the world around her. On that serene morning, the delicate sunlight wove its way through the curtains, casting gentle streaks of illumination upon the cream-colored sheets. As Claire stirred from her slumber, she felt the comforting embrace of Noah's warm arms enveloping her, a gentle reminder of their closeness. With a subtle tilt of her head, she caught the moment. Noah was awake, his light brown eyes fixed on her, with an intensity that radiated a tranquility Claire had never encountered in any other man. As dawn broke, he murmured softly, drawing her into his embrace. Claire nestled against him, her face pressed into his chest, attuned to the rhythmic cadence of his heartbeat, enveloped in an unexpected sense of tranquility. Yet amidst the unfolding tale, a whisper of concern began to weave its way into her thoughts. Last night, they surrendered to their emotions, casting aside thoughts of what tomorrow might bring. Yet today would all remain as untainted. Noah appeared to glimpse the very essence of her thoughts. He gently raised her chin, his gaze locking onto hers with an intensity that spoke volumes. "Do you wish you had made a different choice?" Claire gave a subtle shake of her head. "No, it's simply that she bit her lip. Fear grips my heart, for the reason that you hold nearly 2 decades more experience than I do." With a deep breath held tight within her chest, Claire finally gave a subtle nod. Noah beamed tenderly, caressing her hair. "In all my experiences, never has anyone brought me such a sense of safety as you do. Age holds no significance for me. I fear you might distance yourself from me." As those words reached her ears, Claire sensed her heart begin to melt. Yet within the depths, a tiny fissure had begun to emerge. She understood that the world beyond would not embrace this as readily as Noah had. In the days that followed, their paths intertwined once more. Yet the gatherings had transformed, no longer filled with the familiar rhythm of poetry readings or the gentle art of tea-making as they once were. The gaze Noah cast upon her, brimming with yearning and affection, left Claire in a swirl of joy and bewilderment. In a moment of stillness on the sofa, Noah leaned in and pressed his lips gently against the back of her neck, sending a shiver through Claire's entire being. He leaned closer, his voice a soft murmur. "You have no idea just how captivating you truly are." With a delicate nudge, Claire distanced herself, her breaths coming in quick, shallow gasps. "Ah, Noah, let us tread with caution. Is it due to the influence of others, or is it my own unpreparedness?" The question rendered Claire utterly speechless. She found herself at a loss for words. Deep within her heart, she understood the depth of her feelings for Noah, a love that was both powerful and daunting. Yet beyond those walls, countless threads intertwined, each one pulling in a different direction. In the midst of Claire's inner turmoil, Owen emerged like a beacon of hope. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the aisles, Claire found herself wandering through the supermarket. It was there, amidst the bottles of wine, that she unexpectedly crossed paths with Owen. "Ah, Claire, it feels like ages since our paths last crossed." With a gentle smile, Claire acknowledged the moment. "Greetings, Juan." As they browsed through the selection of wine, a few bottles caught their eye, and what began as a disjointed exchange slowly transformed into a warm and easy dialogue. Owen, as was his custom, maintained his calm demeanor, his gaze drifting to Claire's face for just a heartbeat longer than one might expect. "You seem to have a youthful glow about you lately," he observed. With a gentle flush of her cheeks, Claire deftly shifted the conversation to a different topic. Yet Owen proved to be a challenge to release. "It has come to my attention that you formed a bond with a young lad." Claire took a moment to gather her thoughts. How could Owen be aware that she had confided in no one else but Emma? "It's merely a rumor," she responded, striving to maintain her composure. Owen's smile held a mystery, inviting curiosity and wonder. "If this holds any truth, I sincerely wish for your caution." Young men particularly, those who share his appearance, often find themselves in search of fresh experiences. Take care of yourself. The words pierced Claire's heart like a delicate blade. On that fateful day she emerged from the supermarket, her heart weighed down by an unshakable sorrow. As she journeyed home, the resonance of Owen's words lingered in her mind. That night, when Noah arrived, Claire hesitated before opening the door, a departure from her usual promptness. She settled onto the sofa, her heart a tempest of emotions. As Noah rapped on the door for the third time, she rose to her feet with a deliberate slowness. As he stepped inside, he gently set the lavender down upon the table, a soft touch of nature amidst the room's stillness. "Why do you seem so different today?" Noah inquired. His eyes were filled with concern. Claire gazed at him, her eyes lingering as if searching for the unspoken words that danced between them. Part of her yearned to leap into his embrace. The other half withdrew shadows of Owen's words lingering in their mind. "Noah, I require some time to gather my thoughts. What purpose does it serve?" Claire remained silent, yet Noah could read the fear and doubt that flickered in her eyes. "Who shared that tale with you? It holds no significance. Your trust is important to me. For if you allow others to sow seeds of doubt about our bond, it will bring me pain." With her gaze cast downward, Claire felt the weight of the moment, hesitant to meet his eyes. She felt a tremor of fear, a whisper of worry, that she might lose herself in the depths of her emotions. The thought that one day Noah might grow weary of her presence sent a chill through her heart, a fear too heavy to carry. "Just a little more time," she murmured softly. Noah gazed at her intently, his eyes reflecting a blend of anguish and resolve. At last he gave a subtle nod. "I'll bide my time, yet remember, my affection is genuine." He departed, leaving Claire solitary in the room filled with the soothing scent of lavender. Following that, Claire secluded herself in her apartment for a span of 3 days. She left the door closed to Noah, and his messages went unanswered. Each time she encountered the phrase, "I miss you. Should you seek my presence, I am at your service." On the screen, her heart ached, yet Owen's voice echoed in her mind, a relentless search for something fresh and uncharted. Claire loathed herself for being drawn in, yet the harder she fought to dismiss it, the more it gnawed at her mind. In a dimly lit corner of the local bar, Owen sat before a glass of whiskey, his gaze cutting through the haze like a blade. He delved deeper, making a series of phone calls, uncovering tidbits from the flower delivery world, a profession that appeared straightforward, yet held a wealth of intrigue for those immersed in it. "Noah Blake," he whispered softly. The name exudes an air of sophistication and elegance. Shortly thereafter, he reached out to a familiar face from his past, someone who had ventured into the realm of real estate. "Greetings. What tales do you have about the Blakes?" In just 5 fleeting minutes it all unfolded. And thus, a sly grin crept across Owen's face. Noah Blake, the sole heir to the legacy of Anthony Blake, a titan in the world of real estate. Not long ago, a young man found himself in a heated dispute with his father, leading him to leave the comforts of home in search of independence. Now, he roams the streets, taking on various odd jobs, one of which involves delivering flowers. With a hint of mischief in his eyes, Owen, the affluent youth, sought out a fresh adventure to break the monotony. And you, my delightful Claire, just happened to be the most captivating target. Owen crafted a scheme that danced in his thoughts. He sought not to unveil Noah to the world, but rather to sow just enough uncertainty in Claire's heart to unravel the bond they shared. And he understood the perfect beginning. The following afternoon, Claire found a message waiting for her from Owen. "I wish to treat you to a cup of coffee. It holds significance for me." With a touch of reluctance, Claire nodded in agreement. A fragment of her being whispered that she should offer Owen some clarity. In the familiar embrace of the bar, where laughter and memories danced in the air, Claire and Daniel found themselves once again drawn to the place that had witnessed their shared moments. Today, a weight lingered in the air. Owen sat there, a familiar figure, yet his eyes gleamed with an unusual intensity. Do you truly believe you understand him? As soon as Claire settled into her seat, he inquired. What was that you just mentioned? Noah Blake, Owen remarked, observing Claire's response. Claire took a moment to gather her thoughts. Claire, it's not a challenge to uncover. That is it. I have delved into it. Owen savored a sip of whiskey, then pressed on with his tale. A young heir has left the comforts of his lavish life behind, embarking on a new journey as a humble flower delivery man. What do you suppose a man of his caliber seeks in a widow who is nearly 2 decades his senior? Owen leaned in his voice a mere whisper. Your innocence is quite remarkable. A young man grappling with his father's expectations, striving to carve out his own identity, encounters a solitary woman yearning for affection. Do you not believe he understands that young men, Claire, are filled with curiosity and a desire to explore new experiences, and in moments of tedium, it's you who bears the pain? Claire's hands tightened into fists upon the table's surface. Noah remains a mystery to me. But you see, my dear friend, you simply do not grasp the essence of the matter. Owen scoffed, a smirk playing on his lips. I simply wish for you to find your own path, unencumbered by others' influence. The meeting concluded with a palpable tension hanging in the air. As Claire stepped out of the bar, a storm brewed within her heart. Upon her return home, she discovered a charming bouquet of lavender waiting for her on the doorstep, accompanied by a handwritten note. Though you may feel anger and doubt, know that my love is genuine and unwavering. I am not just a young lad seeking to explore uncharted territories. I arrived seeking my heart's true essence. With the bouquet cradled in her hands, Claire felt the warmth of tears beginning to brim in her eyes. She leaned heavily against the door, her battle becoming increasingly fierce. On one side was her heart whispering to her to have faith. On the other side, her thoughts trembled at the sound of Owen's voice. Unbeknownst to her, Owen was quietly laying the groundwork for what was to come, this time armed with more than mere words. With Claire holding the lavender tightly, her efforts proving futile, Owen prepared to take his next step. He lacked the patience to remain a mere observer. Claire found herself in a moment of uncertainty, wavering just enough to feel the weight of her decision. With gentle grace, she would welcome a bouquet of flowers or a handful of tender words. Owen reached deep into his network of old media connections, making a phone call here, dropping a few subtle hints there. He understood precisely how to strike the right chords to captivate the tabloids with this tale. He revealed it over the phone, a whisper of insight from an inner circle. A wealthy heir finds himself entangled with a seasoned widow from his past. Images abound rich with intricate details. The voice on the other end of the line dripped with disdain. This tale is too captivating to keep hidden away. It deserves to be shared with the world. Owen curled his lips, a subtle twist that hinted at untold tales and hidden emotions. Hold on until I share what you seek. The tale was woven. In mere days, as the truth of Noah's identity spread like wildfire, Claire would find herself at a crossroads with no path to retreat. Unbeknownst to Noah, the clouds were slowly amassing in the sky. For 3 consecutive days, he sent messages to Claire with unwavering patience. Without casting shadows or adding weight, only the essence of reality. My heart longs for your presence. I see that you require some time, but ensure that no one else shapes your narrative. My heart is filled with affection for you." With each glance at her phone, Claire felt a tightening in her chest. She felt the undeniable truth of her emotions stirring within her. Yet with each revelation, her fear deepened. Owen had sown a toxic seed within her heart. What if he truly held the truth? Imagine a scenario where Noah found himself feeling a bit restless. What if she awoke one day to discover she was merely another entry in the peculiar tales of a defiant, wealthy youth? Yet deep within Claire, a voice cried out, "I know Noah isn't like that." A sensation stirs within me. Her mind was a tumultuous realm of conflict. On a seemingly ordinary afternoon, just as Claire prepared to silence her phone and escape the flood of messages, the doorbell chimed unexpectedly. 3 knocks, deliberate and measured, as Claire took her time. Claire lingered in that moment, her heart racing with anticipation. In that moment, as if guided by an unseen force, she approached the door and turned the handle. Noah stood there, empty-handed, his eyes glistening with the remnants of sleepless nights. He arrived empty-handed, devoid of adornments, simply his true self laid bare. "Claire," he uttered with a strained voice, "I can't bear this any longer. Even if you were to send me away today, there's something I must share with you." With a trembling hand, Claire swung the door wide, revealing him on the threshold. In the heart of the living room, they remained apart, a palpable tension hanging in the air between them. 2 eyes locked in a gaze, one filled with uncertainty, and the other brimming with resolve. "I know someone spoke to you," Noah began. "I'm not certain who it is, but you must understand that my presence here isn't merely due to your uniqueness." Claire gasped. "You're not something I can measure. It was you who sparked a flame within me, the very first to inspire a desire to embrace life. The very first individual who enveloped me in a sense of love, not through material offerings, nor by the allure of wealth." Noah stepped boldly into the unknown. Claire stood her ground. "If you choose to pause, I will honor that decision. Yet, if fear creeps in, due to the words of another, I urge you not to allow them to tarnish the bond we share." His voice trembled. "My heart belongs to you, Claire. Not due to our years, not because of our contrasts, simply because of you." 2 tears cascaded down Claire's cheeks. With a tender gesture, she lifted her hand and brushed it softly against Noah's face. I'm scared," she whispered. "I wish to be the one you cherish, not the one you look back on with regret." Noah grasped her hand, gently placing it against his heart. "I shall not look back with remorse. Yet if you turn your back on me out of fear, that is what I cannot bear. Nothing could stand in its way." With a sudden rush of emotion, Claire collapsed into his embrace, tears streaming down her face. In the cozy confines of that small room, they embraced for what felt like an eternity, 2 pieces of a puzzle that had at last discovered their perfect match. Yet unbeknownst to them, a tale had already begun to unfold in a distant realm, anticipating the moment of unveiling. 2 days after that poignant encounter, Claire discovered a sense of tranquility within her spirit. Noah neither compelled her nor vanished from her sight. Each day he crafted a brief message, gentle and unassuming, a soft nudge to let her know he was present. Claire started to wonder if perhaps she could place her trust in Noah. Perhaps this time she ought to rise above the shadows of the past and the whispers of others, safeguarding the treasure she holds dear. Yet the tapestry of life was woven with complexities. On that fateful morning, just as Claire completed the delicate ritual of brewing her tea, her phone began to ring incessantly. Emma's voice rang out, laced with urgency and fear. "Claire, have you come across the latest edition of the newspaper? Which publication?" Head directly to the entertainment section found in the right column. Oh my goodness, they penned a tale about you and Noah. With hands that quivered like leaves in the wind, Claire unlocked her phone. The initial message that emerged: the son of billionaire Anthony Blake, found in the company of an elderly widow. What lies beneath the enigmatic tale of love? The image at the beginning of the article unmistakably captured their essence. Once upon a time, she and Noah found themselves wandering through the aisles of a quaint bookstore just the other day. Noah leaned in close to her ear, laughter dancing between them. Underneath lay a tapestry woven with toxic phrases. 2 decades separate the audacious defiance of a privileged youth, a romance that sent ripples through the elite society. Claire stood in disbelief. Her heart throbbed as if caught in a relentless grip. Once more, the phone's shrill ring echoed through the room. Once again, it was Emma who took center stage. Is your abode welcoming you back? Is he aware? No, not yet, Claire gasped. In the cozy confines of the Blake house, Anthony found himself engrossed in the very same article on his iPad. His visage burned with fury. With a forceful thud, he brought the iPad down onto the table, summoning his assistant with a commanding tone. Bring Noah back immediately. With a sense of urgency, Anthony picked up the phone and called Vivian. His voice was rough and grating. Invite him to return. If he fails to act, I shall spare no effort in bringing this charade to a close. Vivian listened intently, then let out a gentle sigh. She understood that what lay ahead would pose a challenge for Noah. Noah received the news in a most unexpected way, a text from an old friend, accompanied by a link to the article that would change everything. As he turned the final page, a fleeting moment of clarity washed over him, revealing the mastermind lurking in the shadows. In that moment, the name that echoed in his mind was Owen. His phone buzzed incessantly, a chorus of calls from his father, each one marked by unfamiliar numbers from the press. In that moment, Vivian crafted a private message. Your father is eager to see you. Return to your sanctuary, but take a moment to find your peace. Noah inhaled deeply, his fingers dancing over the screen as he sent a message to Claire. Steer clear of the daily newsprint. Allow me to take care of this. I shall be your shield. As Noah stepped into his father's office, a chill hung in the air, thick and palpable. Anthony faced the window, his back to the world outside. As Noah stepped inside, he chose not to look back. At long last, the journey leads back to familiar shores. You returned home at your mother's request, not because of a call from your father. Anthony spun around his gaze, cutting through the air like a blade. You fool. Are you aware of the actions you've just taken? The entire upper class found amusement in my expense, a tale of a Blake entwined with an elderly widow. Noah tightened his grip, his fists balling up with intensity. Please refrain from using that name. Do you truly believe this is love? Ah, you're simply a spirited young one full of defiance. When weariness sets in, it will leave a mark on your journey. My heart belongs to her, and I have no intention of parting ways with Claire. With a disdainful smirk, Anthony flung the investigative file brimming with photos onto the table. Behold this. Do you really want everyone in the city to find out you were with someone who could easily be your mother? Is there any journey ahead for you in your career? Noah met his father's gaze with unwavering intensity. Wealth holds no sway over me. Fame holds no allure for me. In a moment of decision, my heart would undoubtedly lean towards Claire. Anthony's fury was palpable. Excellent. Starting today, I will be severing all financial support. Nurture your well-being. And I promise you, if you ever cross paths with her again, I will ensure she finds no refuge in this city. That night, Noah found himself back in his modest rented studio, his heart a tempest of anger and worry. He reached out to Vivian and shared every detail with her. Vivian paused, the weight of her words hanging in the air before finally speaking. Your father may not wear his heart on his sleeve, but remember, perseverance is key. At this moment, Claire is calling for your presence. Mother will lend her support in every way possible. Noah held the phone with a firm grasp. His voice trembled with emotion. Fear grips my heart. She will depart from my life, held back by her own fears. A woman who genuinely loves you will hold on tightly, yet it is essential for you to find your own strength first. Vivian hung up, enveloped in a heavy silence that stretched on her heart, brimming with compassion for both Noah and Claire. She sensed that this struggle was merely the opening chapter of a much larger tale. The following morning, as the article spread like wildfire, Claire found herself too apprehensive to step outside her door. With a decisive flick, she silenced her phone, having waded through a sea of messages from Daniel's old friends, former colleagues, and even unfamiliar voices. A widow with a penchant for the company of younger men, unabashed in her pursuits. Are you attempting to hold on to someone from a wealthy background? Those words pierced the heart more profoundly than any blade ever could. She gazed into the mirror, a 45-year-old woman, her visage weary, her eyes shadowed from a night devoid of rest. Claire was overwhelmed, tears streaming down her face as she trembled with emotion. I'm bringing chaos to his existence. I must bring this to a halt. In contrast, Noah stood as a figure of divergence. His determination was unyielding. He understood the pain it would cause Claire, yet he was acutely aware that if she confronted it by herself, their chances would dwindle to nothing. After conversing with Vivian once more, she revealed that it is essential for you to take the lead. Claire must understand that your resolve is unshakable. Noah made his way directly to Claire's abode. He rapped on the door, but silence lingered in the air. Claire, it's your old friend. Gently turn the handle and let the door swing wide. Do not conceal yourself from my sight. In the stillness, a profound quiet envelops the world. Noah persisted in his knocking, his voice growing hoarse with each strike. I stand unshaken by the whispers of the crowd. I hold no fear of my father. I fear that you might distance yourself from me. In due time, the door creaked open just a fraction. Claire stood there, her hair a wild tangle, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. Once more, I find myself questioning whether to grant you entry into my world. Her voice trembled with emotion. Due to that article, due to the words they shared. Indeed, I must consider others before myself. I cannot pull you into this mire. A journey awaits you. You are my future, Noah declared with conviction. Claire shook her head, her tears cascading down her cheeks like a river of sorrow. They will hold you tight, never allowing you to slip away. Your father continues unabated. Ah, but the depths of your understanding elude me. Noah stepped closer, his hands gently resting on her shoulders. Do you really believe I'm unaware that my father has severed our financial ties? Everything may slip through my fingers, but you are the one thing I cannot bear to lose. With a heart heavy with sorrow, Claire wrenched herself from his embrace, tears streaming down her cheeks. The mere idea of you gazing at me, as if I were the architect of your misfortune, is unbearable. In the bloom of youth, you cannot be my anchor in this sea of solitude. I stand strong on my own. Your presence is essential to me, Noah. With a piercing scream, Claire fell to the ground, her body trembling uncontrollably. My heart is filled with affection for you. If you choose to release me, I wish to hear it directly from your lips. Do not hold me back because of fear. Noah knelt before her, his voice trembling with emotion. With her hand shielding her face, Claire wept quietly, words escaping her in the depths of her sorrow. In that moment, Vivian trailed behind Noah, her gaze fixed on him from a distance. She witnessed every moment unfold. As Claire fell to the ground, and Noah knelt by her side, a spark of profound empathy ignited in Vivian's gaze. This young soul has discovered the magic of love for the very first time. She resolved that Anthony would not allow this to tarnish their journey so effortlessly. In the midst of it all, Owen pressed on undeterred. He discreetly delivered additional images to the editorial office, revealing intimate moments shared between Claire and Noah. Continue sharing your tales. The more you weave, the richer the tapestry becomes. Allow her to retreat when the heat is on. Unbeknownst to him this time, Vivian had orchestrated a cunning maneuver leveraging her connections to stifle the flow of information. A clandestine conflict ignited between the two factions. That night, Claire found herself seated by the window, the lights dimmed, gazing out at the city which stretched before her like an infinite dark ocean. Suddenly, a knock echoed through the stillness, beckoning attention to the door. This time, it was not Noah who took the stage. Emma, her dearest companion, entered the room, enveloping Claire in a warm embrace. You are quite the character. Should you choose to surrender at this moment, the weight of that decision will linger with you eternally. Yet he stands to lose it all. If he's prepared to sacrifice it all for you, what other secrets are you keeping at bay? With a gentle sweep, Emma brushed away her tears, her gaze heavy with unspoken emotions. Claire, love may not always be. Just yet, surrendering to fear is a misstep. Claire lifted her gaze, her eyes sparkling with a newfound light after days of dimness. It's time to reflect and ponder. Don't ponder for too long. Out there, a figure lingers in anticipation. On that fateful night, Claire found herself wide awake. She nestled into the armchair by the window, where the city lights shimmered beyond, resembling a vast ocean of stars. Emma's words resonated within her mind. If he's prepared to sacrifice it all for me, what other truths am I concealing? Claire understood the truth in Emma's words, yet a lingering fear clung to her heart, refusing to release its grip. A haunting dread of judgment from the world, a lingering worry that one day Noah might look back with regret at his choice, and an overwhelming anxiety of losing it all once more. As the shadows of night enveloped the world, Claire emerged onto the balcony, embracing the stillness of the evening. The crisp morning breeze nipped at her skin, yet it invigorated her senses and kept her alert. With a flick of her wrist, she retrieved her phone and delved into the messages from Noah. My heart is filled with affection for you. I shall remain by your side. Claire's eyes shimmered with unshed tears. She felt the weight of her decision pressing upon her. In the grand halls of the Blake mansion, anticipation hung in the air as a press conference was on the verge of unfolding. In a twist of fate, Anthony, unable to stem the tide of information, resolved to wield the media as his weapon, compelling Noah to reconsider his stance. It shall be revealed that my son found himself ensnared in a relationship that was far from wholesome. He will offer a public apology, and that will be the end of it. Vivian's gaze deepened with shadows upon hearing that, yet she remained silent, for her mind was already weaving a different tale. On that fateful morning, Vivian reached out to Noah in a moment meant just for them. Do you truly wish to continue down this path together, above all else? Then I shall lend you my aid, but you must summon your strength. Today your father will insist that you read the prepared statement. I shall not delve into it. Vivian offered a warm smile. All right, go ahead and express your true thoughts. In the grand hall of the press conference, A sea of media gathered, their presence palpable and charged with anticipation. All eyes were fixed on the podium, with cameras and microphones, poised ready to capture the unfolding moment. With a measured step, Anthony advanced his words, few yet impactful. His voice was as cold as ice. My family extends their heartfelt apologies for the misunderstandings that arose. My son will express his stance in his own words. Noah took a step into the spotlight. In a fleeting moment, his gaze drifted to the rear of the room, where Vivian sat, her head gently bobbing in quiet agreement. He understood that Claire was absent, yet he felt a deep urge to share his thoughts with the world and with her spirit. Noah inhaled deeply. I stand firm in my decision. A wave of anticipation coursed through the space. Claire Bennett is a remarkable woman, and I feel fortunate to have crossed paths with her. This is not an act of whimsy, nor is it a secret I must conceal. He gazed directly into the lenses, capturing the moment with unwavering intensity. Though the stakes are high, I cannot bear the thought of living with the weight of regret for failing to shield the one I hold dear. Should my father or anyone else believe that I would relinquish Claire due to the weight of public opinion, they are sorely mistaken. I embraced my heart's desire, no matter the price to pay. Silence enveloped the room. With a surge of fury, Anthony's fists tightened against the table. Yet he remained silent, unable to break the moment. Noah had already stepped away from the podium, exiting the hall amidst the clicking of cameras. The tale of the press conference rippled through the vast expanse of social media. A billionaire's son steps into the spotlight to champion his bond with a widow. Noah Blake's surprising decision sends shockwaves through public sentiment. In the cozy little apartment, Claire sat quietly, her gaze fixed on the flickering screen before her. Her tears flowed endlessly. One part was woven from deep emotion, while the other stemmed from a place of self-reproach. In a moment of doubt, she contemplated surrendering. But there he was, boldly declaring his love for her before the entire world. My courage cannot possibly pale in comparison to yours. With a gentle motion, Claire brushed away her tears. In this moment, her heart resonated with an unparalleled clarity. Once the press conference drew to a close, Claire remained still captivated by the screen before her for more than an hour. She found herself engulfed in a whirlwind of feelings: shame, anger directed inward, a tide of emotion, and an undeniable love. He selected me. From all corners of the earth, he selected me. Claire realized that the time for escape had passed, yet in the face of adversity, Owen pressed on with unwavering determination. As he witnessed Noah's speech capturing the world's attention, a sense of urgency washed over him, signaling that his moment was slipping away. If she plans to reunite with him, I will reveal to Claire the true nature of that boy. He shared with Claire a snippet of a past moment, where Anthony's fiery words echoed from an old interview. That child has yet to experience the depths of genuine love. Every action he takes seems to be a rebellion against me, an attempt to explore uncharted territories he was once forbidden to venture into. With the words you weave, you shall become the jest of the town. One day it will cast a shadow over your name. As she delved into the words, Claire felt a tremor of emotion wash over her once more. Yet on this occasion she stood her ground. She gazed at the screen, lost in the memory of Noah's piercing gaze from the podium. He had the courage to stand there for me. I shall not be swayed by inferior choices. With a steadying inhale, Claire gathered her thoughts. After days of silence, she finally reached for the phone, her fingers trembling as they dialed Noah's number. "May I pay you a visit on the other end of the line?" Noah's voice trembled with emotion. "The moment has come, and here I stand, awaiting your arrival." As the shadows began to stretch and the light faded, Claire stepped into the cozy studio, where Noah awaited her presence. In the softly illuminated room, a delicate aroma of peppermint tea lingered, weaving through the atmosphere like a gentle whisper. Noah lingered in the doorway, his gaze betraying a deep-seated concern. As his gaze fell upon Claire, he moved closer, yet refrained from reaching out to her. "I'm merely inviting you to consider it. If you find yourself here today to bid farewell, I will honor that choice." Claire gazed at him intently, the man who had endured profound loss, yet still embraced the capacity to love her. "No, I have come to express my regrets." Her voice quivered with emotion. "I allowed the voices of others to cast shadows of uncertainty upon my faith in you. Fear compelled me to consider departure. Yet today, as you stood there, a realization washed over me. I had been mistaken." Noah let out a breath, tears shimmering in his gaze. He advanced, gently grasping her hand. "There's no need for apologies. Just promise me you won't wander away again." Claire's tears flowed freely. "I shall remain right here. My heart belongs to you, Noah." Those words flowed like a gentle stream, bringing a sense of liberation to both of them. Noah enveloped Claire in his embrace, their bodies pressed together in a way that made the air around them feel scarce. In the intimate confines of the small room, their lips met, not as a declaration but as a gentle reminder of their bond, a silent affirmation that they remained intertwined, still belonging to one another. In a tucked-away nook of the city, Owen delved into the latest update. Claire Bennett arrived at the doorstep of Noah Blake's home. The bond remained steadfast and unwavering. He cast the phone aside onto the chair, a bitter laugh escaping his lips. "Very well, Claire. You have taken that journey. Embrace it without regret." Yet beneath the surface, the bitterness festered a weight too heavy to bear. On the Blake side, Vivian absorbed the update with a soft smile, her heart warmed by the words on the page. "Headstrong little one. Yet in this instance, you have proven to be correct." She understood that Anthony would struggle to accept it, yet she was equally aware that Claire and Noah were now bound together in a way that would make separation nearly impossible. In the dim light of the small apartment, Claire nestled on Noah's lap, their hands intertwined in a firm embrace. "Do you wish you had chosen differently?" she inquired gently. "Regret not embracing the love I offered sooner." Claire smiled, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. After what seemed like an eternity, a serene calm enveloped her, bringing a profound sense of tranquility. In a world bustling with sound, this room held a different kind of magic, where only two souls remained united by a bond that defied all odds. It had been a fortnight since Claire and Noah made the choice to intertwine their fingers once more. As the initial excitement waned, the press began to weave their focus onto fresh narratives. Every scandal weaves its own tale, yet that didn't imply that Claire and Noah's lives resumed their usual rhythm right away. Noah had taken up residence with Claire in a cozy little apartment on Willow Street, where the air was filled with the inviting aromas of roasted coffee and fresh flowers. Claire remained unaccustomed to the experience of waking up beside him. Some mornings she would awaken with the sensation of being in a dream. Yet when his arms enveloped her and his lips brushed softly against her forehead, the truth of her reality would unfold before her. Emma would make her visits, frequently arriving with delightful cakes and playful banter. "Ah, this apartment carries a cozy warmth. Wouldn't you agree?" Claire's cheeks flushed with color, yet her eyes sparkled with unmasked joy. "You know," Emma said, "after one visit, he looked at me as if I were the only person in existence. Fear not the shadows of tomorrow. Let not such thoughts cloud your mind. Joy may not be a permanent companion, yet you hold the power to savor its presence in the moments it graces your life." In a decisive turn, Noah severed all financial ties with the Blakes. In that humble studio, the magic of words began to unfold. He embarked on a journey of reimagining ancient verses, weaving tales of a woman adorned with chestnut locks and the most hauntingly beautiful, sorrowful eyes he had ever encountered. Vivian continued to lend her assistance in a subtle manner. She provided Noah with a series of small contracts from literary magazines, ensuring a consistent flow of income for him. This isn't the money of the past. This is my humble offering, a gentle reminder to keep pride at bay. Noah felt a profound sense of gratitude, yet Anthony remained unyielding. Though he chose not to take any further action, he remained silent towards Noah. It felt as though he had cast him aside, severing all ties. Vivian beheld this scene, and her heart ached with uncontainable sorrow. On a fateful day, she encountered Claire in solitude. In a quaint little tea shop nestled close to Claire's abode, the two women found themselves seated across from one another for the very first time. "I know I'm a father who doesn't wish to take on the role of a daughter-in-law," Claire declared first. Her voice was soothing. "He bears no fault in this tale." Vivian grasped her hand gently. "Anthony possesses a goodness within him. His affection for his son takes a troubling turn." "I see your point. Yet I wish for Noah to never feel torn between me and his father." Vivian gazed at her for what felt like an eternity before a smile broke across her face. "That is the reason for his deep affection for you." With a firm grip on her teacup, Claire felt the warmth seep into her palms. A choice blossomed within her soul. She knew she had to free Noah from the confines of two worlds, for he deserved to find his place in one. 3 days after crossing paths with Vivian, Claire arrived at her conclusion. She kept it from Noah. She understood that if she proceeded, he would attempt to intervene or be consumed by remorse. Yet Claire yearned for Noah to bridge the gap that kept him from his father. With a gentle nudge, she extended her hand towards Vivian. "I longed to catch a glimpse of him, if only for a fleeting moment. Would you be able to lend me a hand?" Vivian paused for a moment, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'll make it happen. But are you certain it won't be a challenge? I hold no hopes for his affection towards me. I simply wish for him to allow Noah to embrace his true self." 3 days later, in the expansive office of Anthony Blake, adorned with dark wood, Claire found herself seated opposite the man who had loathed her presence more than anyone else in the world. Anthony's astonishment was palpable when Vivian entered with Claire, yet he chose not to send her away. That marked the initial surrender. "What brings you here pleading for me to embrace this relationship?" Claire met his gaze with unwavering intensity. "I assure you I'm not pleading for anything. My purpose here is to support Noah." With a slight curl of his lips, Anthony crossed his arms, a gesture that spoke volumes. "As I suspected, you wish for my son to return home while you remain in his life. I wish for Noah to find his way back home, to have a father who embraces him with love, regardless of my presence or absence." Anthony lingered at that moment. He gazed upon the woman standing before him, neither pleading nor as diminutive as he had envisioned. "Do you believe that mere words could transform who I am?" "I understand your feelings, but I can sense your deep desire to keep your son close to you for all time." Claire took a moment, her voice gentle and reflective. "If it truly serves Noah's best interests, I can step away from his life. But please do not force him to decide between his love and his father. It is unjust for any child to be placed in such a position of choice." With determination, Anthony's fists tightened, a silent storm brewing within him. He recognized the truth in Claire's words, yet his pride, that stubborn companion, held him back from acknowledging it openly. "There was a moment when I found myself adrift, unable to steer my own course. If I yield this time, his respect for me will vanish. With a subtle smile, Claire gently disagreed. It is in granting him the freedom to embrace his true self that he comes to hold you in genuine esteem. A lengthy pause lingered in the air, heavy with unspoken words. At last, Anthony let out a gentle sigh, his gaze beginning to soften ever so slightly. I can't guarantee my acceptance, but I will no longer stand in his way. That is the extent of my efforts at this moment. With a subtle nod, Claire acknowledged the moment. That will do. I appreciate the opportunity to share this with you. She rose gracefully, offering a gentle salute. As Anthony observed Claire's departure, a wave of unfamiliar feelings washed over him, mingling with a newfound admiration for her strength. That evening, Claire returned home, keeping the encounter with Noah's father a secret from him. With a gentle lean against Noah's shoulder, she whispered reassuringly, "Everything will be fine. There will be no choices for you to make. Simply embrace your authentic self." Noah was puzzled by her words, yet he embraced her firmly, experiencing a sense of tranquility that had eluded him through countless turbulent days. 3 days after the gathering, an unforeseen event unfolded. As dawn broke, Noah busied himself with the ritual of brewing coffee, when suddenly, the shrill ring of his phone pierced the quietude. A message arrives from a mysterious sender. If you find a moment, swing by and share a meal with your stepmother. Your father shall be present. Noah gazed intently at the words on the screen. His heart tightened with a sudden intensity. Claire stepped out of the bedroom, her gaze landing on him frozen in place. What tale unfolds before us? Noah unveiled the screen to her gaze. As Claire read the words, a wave of concern washed over her, yet a flicker of relief danced in her heart. Perhaps Anthony was beginning to show a gentler side. So you're embarking on a journey, I must do this. Yet, should they compel me once more, I shall take my leave. Simply take your leave. Fear not for my well-being. With a gentle smile, Claire clasped his hand tightly. On that fateful afternoon in the Blake dining room, Vivian found herself in a state of anticipation. Anthony arrived fashionably late by 10 minutes, his expression a mystery waiting to be unraveled. Yet upon catching sight of Noah, he merely offered a subtle nod. Come take a seat. There's no reason to feel so wound up. The meal unfolded in a setting that felt both strange and intriguing. In the silence that lingered, there were neither sharp exchanges nor the warmth of closeness. Yet Noah discerned that his father's once critical gaze had transformed, no longer holding the weight of judgment it once did. As the meal approached its conclusion, Anthony's words flowed deliberately. Your stepmother remarked on your remarkable resilience in life. Noah paused, lifting his gaze to meet his eyes. I didn't claim I would embrace everything immediately, but I shall no longer stand in your way. A moment of stillness. Then Anthony turned his gaze elsewhere. Claire crossed paths with you. She was candid and possessed a remarkable sense of honor. Upon learning that Noah nearly succumbed to the cold, a shiver ran down the spine. She crossed paths with you. Indeed, her heart was selfless, seeking nothing for her own sake, but only for my well-being. Noah's fists tightened beneath the table, his eyes burning with unspoken emotion. Partly in astonishment, partly aware that Claire had orchestrated it all for him behind the scenes. Anthony gazed deeply into his son's eyes, a moment of connection unfolding for the first time that day. If you embark on this journey, summon the strength to safeguard the heart of your beloved. Noah gave a thoughtful nod. I shall. Anthony fell silent, the weight of unspoken words hanging in the air. Yet as Noah departed, he gazed upon his son's silhouette, his eyes filled with an unprecedented tenderness. As the night enveloped the world outside, Noah stepped through the door, finding Claire lost in the pages of a book by the window. He entered the room, took a seat opposite her. Silence spoke volumes as eyes met in a profound exchange. With a subtle curve of her lips, Claire offered a gentle smile. "You were aware." Noah nodded, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Why was I left in the dark? For I was certain you would intervene. Your thoughts about me often run deep." He enveloped her in a warm embrace, his lips hovering near her ear. "My affection for you has grown even deeper because of that." They embraced one another, lost in the warmth of the moment, time slipping away as they held on tightly. There's no further tale to unfold. Several days passed, and then Vivian extended an invitation. "If you both find yourselves with some time to spare, I invite you to my humble abode for a delightful cup of tea. There's no obligation for you to gather in the usual way." With a moment of uncertainty, Claire paused, yet Noah's warm smile encouraged her as he gently grasped her hand. "Now is the moment to demonstrate that we can coexist harmoniously, just like all others." On that fateful afternoon, they made their way to Vivian's house. It wasn't the grand dining room or the opulent living room that captured her heart, but rather the quaint tea room nestled in the back garden, a cherished spot where Vivian found solace in her books. With a graceful touch, Vivian brewed the tea, each movement a dance of expertise. The ambiance in the room exuded a comforting warmth. As Claire stepped through the door, Vivian rose with a radiant smile, her joy evident in the air. "It brings me joy that you have arrived." Though Anthony was absent today, he had a sense you would arrive, and he had given his nod of approval. Claire nodded, her eyes filled with gratitude. Vivian gracefully drew out a chair for her. And so we turn our attention to Noah. They gathered in unity, their distances vanished. The tea unfolded seamlessly. Vivian chose not to delve into the past, nor did she bring up the scandal. Instead, her curiosity was piqued by the poems Noah was crafting, inspired by Claire's hobbies and the hidden nooks of the city. One day, a smile graced Vivian's lips. "Perhaps we shall linger here, sipping tea alongside Anthony. I have faith that we shall." Noah clasped Claire's hand tightly, his eyes sparkling with emotion. Claire cast her gaze from Vivian to Noah, a silent exchange unfolding between them. In that moment, a serene vision of what lay ahead unfolded before her eyes. A picture free from imposing obstacles. As the moments flowed by, the old scandal slipped quietly into the shadows, becoming a mere whisper of the past. Amidst the whirlwind of fresh tales and vibrant discussions, the scandalous romance lingered in the air, impossible to overlook. Yet for Claire and Noah, a fresh chapter was unfolding. Each day within the cozy apartment unfolded with its own unique cadence. Noah devoted the majority of his days to the art of writing. His poems started to grace the pages of literary magazines with increasing frequency, not due to the weight of the Blake name, but because of the heartfelt voice that resonated with readers. As for Claire, she discovered the strength to embrace the world beyond her own, no longer intimidated by the watchful eyes around her. As she strolled alongside Noah through the bustling streets, the curious gazes of passers-by lingered. Yet she had mastered the art of smiling, boldly, her head held high. "We have weathered the tempest. There's no longer a reason to lower your gaze." Noah was a constant echo in her mind. On a crisp autumn morning, Vivian reached out to Noah. "Your father inquired about the possibility of gathering with you at your mother's house one afternoon. Just a gathering, no need to feel any weight." Noah paused, his gaze shifting to Claire. With a gentle grip, Claire intertwined her fingers with his, offering a subtle nod of understanding. "Proceed, if you will. When the moment arrives, that chance will be essential." That afternoon, Claire and Noah ventured to Vivian's house. their purpose far beyond a simple friendly tea. Anthony would surely make his presence known. As they stepped into the cozy tea room, they found Anthony already settled in awaiting their arrival. His visage remained as frosty as always, yet the intensity in his gaze had dulled. With a swift farewell, Vivian departed, allowing them the space they needed. For a brief moment, silence enveloped the surroundings, as if the world held its breath. And so Anthony began to weave his words. Though I am steadfast in my convictions, a whisper of doubt lingers, reminding me that if I do not relent, I may lose you for all time. Noah sat in quiet contemplation, absorbing the sounds around him. I won't claim to embrace it all yet. It's evident to me that she is the one who has brought out the best in you. His gaze fell upon Claire. I appreciate your role in guiding him away from cowardice and spitefulness. With a subtle curve of her lips, Claire offered a faint smile. I cannot bring myself to accept that gratitude. Noah embodies a certain essence that captivates those around him. Anthony cast another glance at his son, his voice dropping to a softer tone. Should you embark on this journey, embrace every moment with passion and vigor. Do not allow her to endure pain due to your actions. Noah spoke with clarity. I shall embark on this journey. On a delightful sunny afternoon just a week later, Claire and Noah welcomed Vivian into their cozy apartment for a charming tea gathering. For the first time, they set aside an extra chair, hoping that one day Anthony might choose to join them. The tea enveloped me in a gentle warmth, soothing and comforting with each sip. As Claire brewed a fragrant pot of tea, Noah busied himself with the delightful task of preparing cakes, their sweet aroma filling the air. Vivian observed the two young souls before her. Her eyes held a softness tinged with an undercurrent of struggle. Indeed, the journey has been remarkable, she remarked. And I sense that the journey before us stretches far and wide. Noah clasped Claire's hand, a smile lighting up his face. As long as we stand together. Claire gazed at him, her heart buoyant. The afternoon was approaching, casting a warm glow over the landscape. As they gathered to bid farewell to Vivian, a sleek black car glided to a halt across the street, its presence commanding attention. Anthony found himself nestled within the confines of the room. He remained inside. With a gentle flick of his wrist, he let the window slide down his gaze, drifting towards the modest apartment that stood before him. Vivian cast a glance his way, a subtle nod accompanying her gaze. Though Anthony's lips remained unmoved, a gentle warmth flickered in his eyes, revealing a depth of feeling beneath the surface. Claire beheld it unafraid and unflinching. With a gentle inclination of her head, she offered a silent salutation. With a gentle hum, the car glided away into the distance, leaving behind a whisper of its presence. Yet that image would linger as a beacon, whispering that, with patience and understanding, transformation was always within reach. In the quiet of the small bedroom, Claire rested her head gently upon Noah's shoulder, a moment steeped in warmth and intimacy. Do you believe there will come a time when you'll look back and wish you had chosen differently? Noah let out a soft chuckle as he pressed a gentle kiss to her hair. Not a chance. My only sorrow lies in the fact that I didn't embrace my love for you earlier. Beyond the window, the night breeze softly stirred the treetops, whispering secrets of the darkened world outside. Amidst the city's clamor, that room held a quiet intimacy, shared by just two souls. Two souls who bravely defied all biases to unite in their journey together. And regardless of what the morrow held, Claire understood. She would no longer cower in the shadow of solitude. For when you embrace love in such a way, even a single moment can echo through eternity. Thank you for joining us on the journey of Claire and Noah's tale until the very last moment. This tale unfolds not just as a narrative of love that defies the constraints of age and bias, but as a voyage that resonates with each of us as we confront our own fears, the weight of judgment, and the walls we build within ourselves. And what of you, upon hearing this tale? What emotions stir within you? Can genuine love transcend every divide, every societal bias? Share your reflections in the comments below. I eagerly anticipate the moments we will share through stories and words. If tales like this capture your heart, be sure to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell, ensuring you won't miss the next enchanting narratives. Welcome to a world of delightful surprises and captivating tales. Until we meet again in the tales to come, may your day be filled with warmth and kindness,